Okay, so in this video, we have our sample code that we set up last time. And what I'm going to actually do here, just to show us um, a similar setup with the same add-on instruction with just some different tag names here and there, is I'm going to actually open up my main routine I have running on the PLC, and you'll see this tag's a little bit different. My send buffer, my receive buffer, very generic. And down here, I've written some code that's going to allow us to write data to the send buffer so that we can write different values to the RFID tag. So with that said, let's zoom in here a little bit. There we go, to our add-on instruction. Okay, so got my PLC up and running here, and we are in run mode. And let's get into the add-on instructions. So I got my input array, output array set up correctly. My connection good is high. This is going to be our trigger, our execute. We'll go over that a little bit more shortly. Our module identifier is correctly linked to our config array for the module. Here is our input start address. This tells us at what byte we want to start reading from when we do a read. So for instance, the tag that we have at the moment for testing today is the E80371. That's going to have 112 bytes to it. So if I want to start pulling at byte 0, perfect. It's what most people are doing. If I want to start and read from byte 10 for some reason, then we need to change this to be a 10. I'll make that, keep that as a 0 for right now with just the mode that it's in. And we're going to have the same thing with the output start address. This is saying, where do you want to start writing data? Do you want to start writing data at byte 0, or do you want to start writing data at byte 10? This is a command code tag. We're going to leave that be for now. And what I want to go over next are the function IDs. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to run through some of the function IDs. So I'm going to split our screen up here. Actually, you know what? Nah, let's drag these function IDs in here first. So anytime that we see something here that says continuous or automatically, that means that in order for these function IDs to work, we always need to have the execute command held high. You see there that that it is not a fan of me doing that. Let's take that back then, because it needs to be a function ID first. There we go. There we go. Okay, so we run into issues or anything like that with some of the modes. Taking it back to function ID 0 can clear some things for us. So function ID 1, if that is executed constantly, let's take a look at our programs and parameters. And in our receive buffer here, we see the unique identifier. And that unique identifier is E004, so on. So it's these first 8 bytes. This is read only. You cannot write to this. So this is not typically what people are reading and comparing in their applications. So that said, function 1 was to, let's see here, automatically read. And you can see here, this always has to be high, right? And then done. So if we go to function 2, we're going to get an error, and that's fine because we have to go from a 0, and you'll see here for our execute, and our receive buffer is 0, and this is a single read and done. And we get the same thing in here, it's just how you want to pull in the data. Okay, so the next function we're going to take a look at is going to be function 3. And I'm going to make this 0, and And this is where we're going to do, as you can see over here, function 3 is an automatic read of user data. And we have to define how many bytes of data we want, or else we're going to get an error message. So I'm saying, hey, I want to start at byte 0, and I want to read 20 bytes of data from my tag. Simple enough. So that's in there, and we're going to go up and put our tag present, our execute. There we go. All right, so we can see over here in our receive buffer, this is the first 20 bytes of data. It stops here, but that's only because I only wrote the first 12 bytes. It gets a little tedious writing all that. So that's all I wrote there. If we change this to ASCII, you can see hello 54321. So this is being read. If I move the tag, it's gone, and my trigger is still high because I'm in continuous. And when I put a tag back, it automatically pulls into the receive buffer. So we make this 0 without the tag there. We come back down, and 4, this is a triggered read from the tag. So first, I put the tag in front. Tag is present. We trigger this, and we get the same thing. So the difference between continuous, automatic is just this functionality. Whether you actually have to leave the trigger high and then a tag is present and always pulls directly in, or if you want to do a one-time read and trigger it yourself, then you would do 4. And the same goes after this for the write functionality. Okay, so here for the write functionality, so you can see over here, automatic write means that we're going to do function ID 5, and I'm going to remove this tag because it's automatic, and I'm going to execute high. So now I need to see what is in my SYN buffer, and my SYN buffer is saying goodbye 56789, and then when I put a tag in front, it automatically writes this to my tag. Now, next, if I want to confirm that, I'm going to make my execute 0. We're going to make this into a 4, so this is a one time, and we're going to execute. And when we go to our receive buffer, we'll see that our hello is now goodbye. So these are the standard function IDs that most people are going to be using in order to read and write RFID data. So hopefully that was a simple, straightforward overview. And if other questions do come up, I think I'll do one last quick video on tracking down the status code and the diagnostic data code should we get an error that comes up here, because those are very specific and point typically to exactly what we've done wrong. Thank you. Talk to you later.